Hello, everyone. I am looking out the window right now, and the wind coming off Lake Michigan is absolutely brutal today. Welcome to Life English Practice.
It really is. That Chicago winter is starting to show its teeth. I barely made it to the studio because the L train was delayed again.
I am just glad you are here, safe and warm. For everyone listening at home, maybe commuting or just having your morning coffee, thank you for being with us.
We have a topic today that comes up constantly. It is something that causes a lot of quiet anxiety for people learning English.
Quiet anxiety is the perfect way to describe it. We are talking about the structure would have plus the past participle and would have been.
When you are at a B1 or B2 level, you know the words individually. You know would, you know have, and you know words like done or gone.
But when native speakers push them all together in a fast conversation, it sounds like a blur. And worse, when you try to use it yourself, your mind just stops working.
I see professionals here in the U.S. struggle with this deeply. It is not just a grammar mistake. It is a communication barrier that affects their careers.
I understand exactly what you mean. Imagine you are in a corporate office downtown. You missed a deadline because another department did not send you the files.
If you do not know how to use would have, you might just say to your manager, "I didn't finish the report."
And that sounds terrible. It makes you sound incompetent or lazy. It sounds like you simply chose not to do your job.
Exactly. But if you say, "I would have finished the report, but I never received the data," everything changes.
That second sentence protects you. It shows intention. It says, I have the skill, I had the desire, but an outside force stopped me.
This is why this grammar point is so painful for adult learners. It is not about passing a test. It is about defending yourself and showing your true character.
We often talk about the insecurity of sounding childish when speaking a second language. This structure is the bridge to sounding like a professional adult.
There is actually a scientific reason why this is so hard for the brain. It involves something psychologists call counterfactual thinking.
Wait, really? What does that mean in this context?
Counterfactual thinking is the human ability to imagine a past that never happened. To use would have, your brain has to hold two realities at the exact same time.
That makes sense. Reality 1. I did not finish the report. Reality 2. The imaginary world where I did finish it.
Yes. Processing two realities in your native language takes energy. Trying to do it in a second language while remembering grammar rules, that causes the brain to freeze.
So if you are listening and you feel stupid because you keep forgetting to use would have, please stop being harsh on yourself. Your brain is doing heavy lifting.
Let us break down the physical structure slowly. It is would plus have plus the past participle of the verb.
For example, would have gone, would have helped, would have said. The action is in the past, but it is a ghost action. It did not exist.
I want to share a real situation from last week. I had a dinner planned with a friend, but the roads were completely frozen here in Chicago.
Right. The black ice was incredibly dangerous. Nobody was driving.
I called my friend and said, "I would have come to the restaurant, but it is just too dangerous to drive."
That sentence carries an important emotion. It carries regret. You wanted to be there. You value the friendship.
If I simply said, "I am not coming, the roads are bad," it feels cold. It feels like I do not care that much.
And building relationships in the U.S. heavily relies on this softness. We use these conditional phrases to show politeness and warmth.
Many non-native speakers are perceived as aggressive or rude in the workplace Not because they are rude, but because they lack this grammar tool.
That is a harsh reality. People lose out on promotions because they are seen as not being team players, all due to direct language.
Let us talk about a common mistake. A lot of learners say, "I wanted to help you, but I was sick." That is okay, but it is basic.
Yes, it communicates the fact, but saying, "I would have helped you," elevates your English. It sounds entirely natural.
Another mistake is forgetting the condition entirely. Someone says, "Yesterday I would have called you," and then they just stop talking.
Yes, the listener is just waiting. We are waiting for the but. I would have called you, but what? Did you lose your phone? Did you fall asleep?
You always need a reason or condition. Otherwise, the thought is completely unfinished.
Now let us shift to would have been. This one is beautiful because it describes states of being or feelings, not just actions.
Providing an example. I hear this all the time when people talk about travel. The vacation would have been perfect, but it rained every single day.
Right. The vacation happened, but the state of being perfect did not happen. It is a reflection on how things felt.
Or think about a project at work. You look at a design and say, "It would have been better if we used different colors."
This is a very polite way to give feedback. Instead of saying, "This design is bad," you point to an imaginary, better version.
Exactly. You avoid direct conflict. English speakers rely on this structure to navigate office politics safely.
Let us talk about something a bit deeper. A pain many immigrants feel when they move away from their home country.
Missing important life events, weddings, funerals, the birth of a sibling's child.
Yes, when you call home, you want to express your heartbreak. Saying, "I could not come," is factual, but it feels empty.
But if you say, "I would have been there, I really would have, but my visa did not process in time," that tells your family your heart is with them.
That is a beautiful and painful example. Language is not just grammar rules. It is how we hold on to our humanity when we are far apart.
This is why I push my students to master this. It is not for a test score. It is to give them their emotional voice back in English.
Let us practice a little. Let us give the listeners a scenario, and they can think about the answer.
Okay, scenario. You ordered a coffee, but the barista made it cold instead of hot. You did not say anything because you were in a hurry.
Later, you tell your coworker about it. How do you express what you intended to do?
Providing the answer. You say, "I would have asked them to remake it, but I was running late for our meeting."
Notice how smooth that is. It explains the situation, defends your actions, and keeps the conversation moving forward.
Setting another scenario. Now let us try one with would have been. You went to a concert, but your friends stayed home.
The music was incredible. You want to tell your friend that they missed a great experience.
You tell them, "It would have been amazing if you were there." It shares the joy, but also a tiny, polite amount of regret.
It is such a gentle way to say, "You should have come."
Speaking of these phrases, another common issue is pronunciation. In real life, nobody clearly separates the words would and have.
That is absolutely true. Native speakers contract it. It sounds like would've.
And often, it gets squashed down even more to woulda. Like, "I woulda gone." I do not recommend learners write it that way, but you must understand it when you hear it.
Yes. If someone says, "I woulda called you," they are using this exact grammar structure, just speaking quickly.
If you are trying to build this habit, practice in front of a mirror. Just say, "I would have" out loud until your mouth is used to the physical movement.
Because the brain freezing is partly physical. Your mouth hesitates because it is not a familiar sound pattern.
Exactly. You remove the hesitation through repetition. The grammar stops being a math equation and becomes a reflex.
This has been an incredibly deep conversation about something that seems like just a simple rule. It really affects how we connect with people.
It controls how people see you. Do they see you as cold and direct? Or do they see you as polite, thoughtful, and professional?
If you take away one thing today, let it be this. Would have is the language of intention. Use it to show people your good intentions.
And do not be afraid to make mistakes with it. It is better to try and sound slightly awkward than to sound completely unfeeling.
Well said. The wind is still howling outside here in Chicago, but I feel like we shed some warm light on a very tough topic.
Stay warm out there, everyone. Keep practicing, keep talking, and do not let the grammar silence you.
Thank you for joining us on Life English Practice. We will see you next time.